Good evening. Welcome to the Eyes of the Republic. Thank you for watching. And in tonight's story, we're going to analyze the evil Republicans and their voter suppression. Also, the communist Democrats who want to allow illegal non citizens to vote in our elections. But more specifically, we're going to look at how politicians, the media, and the powers that be divide and conquer. So the topic tonight is going to be Florida. I don't know if you've heard about it, but there is quite a bit of controversy on their efforts to stop non-citizens from being able to vote. Very understandable, but keep in mind that this is just one example of how the left is pitted against the right, and in the end, we all lose. So tonight, I do want to make a little bit of fun of the left-right shenanigans. So I'm going to be presenting the story to you first from Fox News, then from NBC, and lastly, the Eyes of the Republic. Let's take a look at the recent controversy. From our table at NBC, we're covering the injustice unraveling right now in Florida, where Republicans are attempting to strip Latinos' right to vote. Governor Scott has created a list of possible illegal citizens and is attempting to blacklist them from voting. The problem is, many of the people on the list are not actually illegal. Election supervisors are reporting that many of the people on the list have been found to actually be eligible. This sounds like a witch hunt to me, aimed at disempowering Latino voters, just like Florida did to black voters back in 2000. Looks like the Republicans will do anything to get Obama out of power and are trying to steal the important swing state of Florida. From MSNBC. Good evening. In breaking news here at Fox headquarters, federal authorities have requested that Florida cease and desist its efforts to remove ineligible voters from the polls. Our good Governor Richard Lynn Scott has launched an investigation into possible illegals who are actually registered to vote and is now trying to create a blacklist to prevent them from participating. The request by the feds has outraged many people who do not want to see people who are not U.S. citizens voting. We would like to ask the following question: why on earth would the federal authorities not want this list to take place? Why would they want illegals to be out there in the voting booths? Obviously, President Obama wants that Hispanic vote. He wants illegals to have a right that they shouldn't have because he wants to continue to run this country into the ground. From Fox News, have a good night. Hello, and welcome back to the Eyes of the Republic. I hope you enjoyed that. We would like to discuss this controversy not only going on in Florida, but across the country. Republicans see it as liberals who are trying to allow illegals to vote. Democrats see it as conservatives trying to suppress Latinos' right to vote. And this is how we see it, how we want to portray it. It's understandable that Republicans or anybody in this country doesn't want non-citizens voting. That's a legitimate concern. It's also understandable that Democrats want to ensure that actual citizens aren't having their rights to vote taken away from them. Both sides want what's best for America. Let's first recognize that important fact. Everybody wants what's best. We're not enemies here. With that in mind, I think that both of these things are possible without bipartisan bickering. As things stand now, Florida will most likely move forward with its plans because they see Democrats as the enemy. I don't doubt that those who are actually in power are using this to their advantage. At the same time, supervisors in certain counties have pretty much, without directly saying it, admitted that they will probably just ignore the blacklist, especially the ones that are the most recently updated. And guess who loses? Everybody, all of us, Americans. The people who should be able to vote that will be falsely identified are going to lose their right to vote where the lists are respected and upheld. Where the lists aren't respected, people who probably shouldn't be voting will most likely end up voting. There probably will be some illegal voters that get past there. And guess who, again, who's going to lose in that? We all are. So let's consider, again, that most people involved actually want what's best. Most Democrats, most Republicans want what's best. Most Democrats don't want non-citizens to vote. That's false. I don't think that I could even find a Democrat who would say, yes, if you're not a citizen, you should still be able to vote. Likewise, I don't think I could find a single Republican, other than maybe those in power, of course, that don't want citizens to be falsely identified and have them be prevented from voting. No Republican wants that. I can't imagine. So here's what I think, here at the Eyes of the Republic, if there's a way to accurately identify non-citizens as voters, it should be enacted. However, this shouldn't be a rushed process. It should be a very transparent process, which it has not been. One where you can guarantee that there are no false positives. I don't think it would be that difficult to do, maybe a little bit time consuming. If that can't happen before these elections, then wait until the next elections. Innocent until proven guilty. That's how our system works. Just as we'd rather let a guilty man go before we wrongfully imprison anybody who's innocent and take away their rights to freedom, the same goes for letting a few people who are illegally here, allowing them to vote. Let them vote, not because we want them to, but we would rather allow a few of those people to vote than to ever deny people their constitutional right to participate in our democracy. I don't really think that there are that many illegal voters out there, but that's just my opinion. I'm not really an expert in the area. Moral of the story is that politicians and the media are not doing their job. This is not rocket science we're talking about here. It's a simple case, or at least it should be. But instead, politicians and the media, left and right, have turned it into a pointless yelling match. So I will be putting out another video a little bit shorter than this one that's related to this topic about voter suppression issues, like the recent rush for all these states who are trying to require people to have photo IDs. If it interests you, stay tuned, check that out. Thank you to everybody who's watching this video. I hope you are talking about politics or spreading the message and are not letting this left-right dynamic divide us, because we can take our system back if we stop making each other enemies. We're friends. We all want what's best. And on that note, have a great night.